Well, Dubai Millennium did it in track record time. He really may be the horse of the millennium.
Dubai Millennium might be the best in the world. What a performance today.
Dubai Millennium, one of the best horses of the last 30 or 40 years.
This horse, I think, is the best we have had. It was so strong and powerful. We really felt the power underneath it, a natural running machine.
Well, we've seen some performances on BBC Racing, but I think that race is one of the greatest.
It's one of those moments when you think, today, I've seen something quite out of this world.
That was sensational, just amazing. All I can say is, wow.
Last year I said that the best horse we ever had. His sheer strength and power was just frightening. In human terms, you'd have to compare it with something like Michael Johnson.
There is no horse like this horse. So said His Highness General Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Crown Prince of Dubai. The best horse Godolphin has ever had. The best racehorse in the world. Sheikh Mohammed said these things again and again. But the horse was even more than that. For His Highness Sheikh Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai, and his brother Sheikh Mohammed, he was the horse of a lifetime. The horse unlike any other. The greatest racehorse owner in the world, and one of the greatest racehorses that ever drew breath. Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum and Dubai Millennium. It is a story above all about pride. It's also a story of belief and a story of speed. Sheikh Mohammed contributed the belief. Dubai Millennium brought the speed. But pride, that was a joint effort. Equal first. It took a while, but the world finally came round to the same opinion at Royal Ascot in the Prince of Wales Stakes in the summer of the millennial year.
It's Dubai Millennium. He's increased his advantage. He's gone 6 or 7 lengths in front.
It was the race that made it doubly plain what Sheikh Mohammed had said all along. That the horse really was the best in the world. For Godolphin is about Dubai. Horses come from Dubai to take on the world. And once a year, the world comes to Dubai to take on the best the desert can produce. Godolphin's purpose is to challenge the entire racing world. But the racing world is divided between Europe, where they mostly race on turf, and the rest of the world, especially the United States, where they mostly race on dirt. Sheikh Mohammed wanted to challenge both halves of this world, challenge and unite. And Dubai Millennium, he believed, was the horse to do it.
Under orders and they're racing.
Dubai Millennium came to Royal Ascot after his victory on the sand track of Dubai. And on the turf at Ascot, he took on a group of the great racehorses, beat them hollow, and then quickened again.
Dubai Millennium past the 7 coming out of Swinley bottom, applies a bit of pressure now, striding on by 3 lengths to Sender War. Dubai Millennium leads by 3 lengths. Sender War's sticking in his slipstream at this stage. They've opened up a gap of about 8 lengths or so now to Sumitas, followed then by King Adam Beat All, and the pressure's really on. Dubai Millennium going 4 in front. Sender War just sitting in behind. They're about 5 or 6 lengths in front of battling on King Adam as they come towards the entrance to the home straight. Jerry Bailey on Dubai Millennium leads for home here by 4 lengths in the Prince of Wales. In second place is Sender War, who's battling on. A long gap in the field then to Sumitas from King Adam, and they're followed by Beat All. 2 furlongs left to run though. Dubai Millennium still 4 in front. In second place Sender War, making no impression at this stage. Followed then by Sumitas, Beat All, King Adam behind them. But as they come to the final furlong, it's Dubai Millennium. He's increased his advantage. He's got 6 or 7 lengths in front. Sender War can't pick him up. Battling on as Beat All, but this is some performance. It's Dubai Millennium, Jerry Bailey, who goes on to win the Prince of Wales Estakes by 6 or 7 lengths.
It was a moment of total vindication for Godolphin, for the Maktoum family, and for Dubai.
He's got 6 lengths in front. He's increased his advantage. This is some performance. Dubai Millennium, well, he might be the best in the world.
There was disappointment to come, for there were further plans for this great horse. He was being primed to become the first world champion on turf and dirt, with the Breeders' Cup Classic his final objective. But the horse sustained a fracture of his right hind leg after a characteristically scintillating piece of work on the Limekilns Gallop at Newmarket. A prompt and magnificent response from the Godolphin team made sure that the horse was safe and will go on to pass on his greatness in a career at stud. 100 of the best mares in the world, including 35 of America's finest, will come to visit him at Dalham Hall Stud, Newmarket. Great things are expected, for this was his horse of horses. The bond between the horse and the man was not something that came in achievement. It came before the horse had even raced. The earlier in his life you get to know a horse, the more rewarding the relationship. To be an owner breeder is probably the hardest job in the racing game, but owner breeders have more fun, as well as more heartbreak. Sheikh Mohammed's outstanding mare, Colorado Dancer, was covered by the brilliant American stallion Seeking the Gold, and the horse was born at Sheikh Mohammed's Dalham Hall Stud in Newmarket in 1996. He was a tall foal, which they expected from his breeding. They were pleased with him, a nice horse that might turn out to be a good horse. That was about the size of it. But there was always a good deal of character about him. He'd take a while to come to himself. He was a classic late maturing type. But there was something about him. Those who were there at the very beginning recall not the horse's precocious conformation, but his eyes, uncompromising, bright, alert, marvelously alive. As Sheikh Mohammed would say, you could see his heart through his eyes. The horse first came to Dubai as a yearling, to bloom under the desert sun. He'd done nothing, but those who knew him well in the training academy of Al Quoz knew that this was a horse utterly certain of himself. Even though he'd done nothing, you could taste the incipient pride in him. The horse had been given the name of Yazah. And then came one of the biggest risks in the history of racing. Sheikh Mohammed staked not money, but reputation, his own, that of his pride and joy, the Godolphin Racing Organization, and that of his horse, a horse for whom a rich, prideful love was growing. To a good observer of the game, it was now clear that the horse was going to be rather good. But Sheikh Mohammed was motivated not by his shrewd racing brain, but by his hot-burning racing heart. Everybody else saw a highly promising colt. Sheikh Mohammed saw a supreme champion, and loved him. And so, recklessly, impetuously, he changed the horse's name. And what a name! A hostage to fortune if there ever was one. It was a name that said, "This horse is my champion. This horse that has never seen a racetrack, is fit to be numbered among the greats." And so the horse took the name of Dubai Millenium. Outrageous, quite outrageous. And his reward, a maiden race at Yarmouth. His sole outing as a 2-year-old. Then, of course, back to Dubai. And as he felt the warm, dry desert sun on his back, he grew from a lanky 2-year-old to a strong-looking 3-year-old.
But look at this favourite go. Dubai Millenium on the near side, ranges up. He's made about 3 lengths in 4 bounds.
His 3-year-old career was very good indeed. A series of victories.
It's Dubai Millenium by 4 lengths. This is one that, like a good thing, should. It's Dubai Millenium who wins the predominant by 4 lengths. And it's Dubai Millenium who's going to have to do all the donkey work here. But it's Dubai Millenium who's out in front here with ears pricked and doing it quite comfortably. Frankie's starting to get to work on Dubai Millenium. He's starting to stretch them. He's a length and a half, 2 in front now of Dan Silly. They're not making much impression at all. Dubai Millenium, who's about 2 or 3 lengths in front of Dan Silly and Stickley. And Dubai Millenium is going to walk away with a Jacques Le Manoir. Goes on to win here by the best part of 3 lengths. A good performance.
This was a very good racehorse, but Sheikh Mohammed believed that Dubai Millenium was better than good. Why else did the horse bear such a name? There were still some unanswered questions at the end of his 3-year-old career. This was a horse named for 1 year. The very good 3-year-old season took place in 1999. The horse's name was Millenium.
Under orders and they're racing. Dubai Millenium, the odds-on favourite, as expected, takes it up.
His final race as a 3-year-old was the Queen Elizabeth II at Ascot.
And still showing the way, Gold Academy by 2 lengths, 2 in second, Dubai Millenium as they continue their journey in this Queen Elizabeth II stakes, and Gold Academy by 2.5 lengths to Dubai Millenium, the long odds-on favourite, and it's Gold Academy out in front, leads by a length and a half, Dubai Millenium, and in the centre it's Gold Academy being tackled now by Dubai Millenium, who now races to him very quickly. Al Mustarak pulled on for an effort. They race up with a furlong left to go. It's Dubai Millenium, the odds-on favourite, now careering away. He's opened up a gap of 4 lengths on Al Mustarak. Frankie Dettori steals the beam over the shoulder. He's well clear. Dubai Millenium about 5 in front in no danger and goes on to win the QE2 as an odds-on favourite should. Dubai Millenium wins it by 5 or 6 lengths.
The great racehorse Delamy had been carrying all before him for the Godolphin organization. But at Ascot and everywhere else you asked, Sheikh Mohammed said the same thing.
When we saw him working, we, changed the name and called him Dubai Millenium, and the way he looked, to me, he's just outstanding horse, and he's improving now. I think, from my small knowledge, he's the best we have had.
The 3-year-old season was not to be his season of greatness, and was never intended to be. It was his preparation for greatness. The plan, the hope, the dream was fulfillment in his 4-year-old season in the year 2000. In recent years, this would have been a serious disadvantage, but partly as a result of the modern influence in racing, the game has changed. Horses are no longer whisked away to stud at the first whisper of precocious achievement at the age of 3. Sheikh Mohammed and his older brother Sheikh Maktoum Al Maktoum have been in the forefront of the move to reinvent the 4-year-old racehorse. Other owners have been encouraged to take up the challenge, to race their best horses on into the 4-year-old season. It is a process that brings us true champions, and it has enriched the sport of racing.
What a marvelous horse, coming 3, 4, 5 clear.
On then to Dubai in the millennial year. Dubai, a place in the process of reinventing itself, moving beyond the rich blessing of oil to become the modern heart of the Middle East, a center for business and tourism, for the modern and the traditional, rejoicing in the latest and highest technologies as an internet city with a revolutionary concept of E-Dubai, a place with a rich past taking its place in the 21st century world. The message of the rising status of Dubai is told to the world in a million ways, but few say it as gracefully, as swiftly as the racehorses of Godolphin. The world came out to the Dubai World Cup, and Sheikh Mohammed never doubted the ability of his champion. So proud of the horse, so trusting of the horse, that he invited the television cameras into the colt's box on the day before the race, an unprecedented thing, something that showed not only the horse's perfection of form, but also his perfection of temperament.
You think Dubai Millennium is the best horse you've ever had? Just like to know why. What is it about him, the way he looks, the way he is?
Well, confirmation-wise, he's the best I've ever seen also. Look at his heart room. You know, the depth here in the engine room. And look, his confirmation. It is a perfect horse. Look at his head, his eyes. You know, you can see his heart through his eyes. And he will, you know, now if I come to him, he will give me his time, and he will try to put his head under my arm. And he will stay there. You know, because I like him, he likes me, and I come many times to him, so he knows what I'm doing. You know, and he will stay like this, happy with me, and you know, just he's a happy horse. As you know, he's the best 3 years old in Europe last year, and he's a baby, and he's still a bit baby.
And so the night of the Dubai World Cup. And the horse of horses, Dubai Millennium. He was named for 1 year, or rather, one night in 1 year. The night of the Dubai World Cup, the world's richest race. A race at Nad Al Sheba Racecourse in Dubai. A race that attracted some of the best dirt track racehorses in the world. This, though, was a horse with no limitations.
They're ready, and they're racing. Dubai Millennium began very well. Frankie's going to try and cross over and lead all the way here. As they sort themselves out, Behrens is further back in the field. Leah's Spear is there with Public Purse and Grazioso. As they head down the back, and Dubai Millennium is going like the wind in front, leads by a length and a half. As they continue their journey down the back, Indigenous is just behind them from Running Stag, who's very handy. 2 lengths away then on the outside, Grazioso making some ground. Taking a chance here on Dubai Millennium. He's blazing a big trail here. Leads by a length and a half as they race towards the entrance of the home straight. On the
ドバイミレニアム早くも右手が上がった熱闘に
Dubai Millenium che si isola nella Dubai World Cup. Dubai Millenium الذي ولد قبل 4 سنوات يشارك في هذا اليوم بطلا للعالم.
As Sheikh Mohammed envisioned, Dubai Millennium was all he thought he would be and more.
In Dubai, racing for the Dubai World Cup in the millennial year, it was Dubai Millennium first, the rest nowhere. Not even on the same planet. Not once, but twice. Not on one surface, but on two. Dubai Millennium beat the best the world could put against him, and then went on to beat himself, to conquer his own excellence, to outdo himself. No wonder this was a horse to warm a Sheikh's heart. There are some men who take a special relish in being right when everyone else is wrong. This involves taking chances. It involves a very high risk of being wrong yourself.